Hello. Like you said, my name is Allison Carruthers, and I'm one of the owners of the Louisville licensee store. This is the front of our store. And just to give you a little bit of background, my parents started a pool business about 31 years ago, and we sold summer classics in our pool store. And with the pool store, we went to the Atlanta market in 2002 and were introduced to summer classics. Met Paul Bentley, and just there he is. Fell in love with him, fell in love with the line, and so we decided to place a small little $5,000 order for our pool store, and did really well. So over the next couple years, our business grew and we became a shops dealer, and decided in 2004 to come to Garden Party. My mom, Linda, and my sister Kelly and I went to Garden Party and started talking to Bu about being a licensee and opening a store. And so Bu said, "Why do you want to open a store?" My parents at the time were kind of looking for an exit strategy and wanted to do something different. So we really liked this business because it was a family-owned business. It was kind of more of my background and what I really like to do, has great quality products, and it was growing. So of course, Bu was skeptical, but we agreed to explore the idea. So Bu came to Louisville, and my dad, Fred, and Bu drove around town for some different locations to see where might be the best possible location. And he took him to Westport Village, and at the time, both Bu and I were a little apprehensive about this location because it was not in a very good part of town, and they were redoing the center, but it was really hard to see, what it was going to be. And also, it was pretty much the exact opposite business philosophy that Bu had, as far as picking stores that are in a further location and advertising customers to bring them to you. We did exactly the opposite. We went in a very high rent district, and where we have a lot more walk-through traffic, and it's in a center. So this shows you what it was. This is an old Winn-Dixie, and that's actually where we are. We have the old Winn-Dixie floors. And then started construction, and then this is what it is now. So it really feels like a lot of people tell us that they're on vacation when they feel like they're on vacation when they come to our store and come to our center. The sidewalks are really wide. They have all kinds of events at the location, or at the center. Every Friday night in the summer, they have bands, they have big derby events. The Underhills are who own the center and who developed the center, and they are also a family-owned business. All of their kids work in it too, so they really understand family business. Everybody in the center, with the exception of Qdoba, is family-owned. So it's a nice place to support your local business too. So it just kind of shows you there's ice cream places, there's high-end restaurants. So it's just a really fun place to come and hang out. We have a fashion show every year in our store that the center puts on, and it brings like 250 to 300 high-end ladies shopping for derby outfits to our store. So it's a fun event. As far as lease negotiations, after Bu approved this site, we solicited the help of a lease specialist, and since that's his full-time job and he knows the advantages, there was no cost to us. The leaseor just pays the fee. So we started when we opened up at $18 a square foot, and it's increased to $21.31 a square foot, and we have 9,000 square foot of showroom space, and then we added actually 2,000 square feet of warehouse space that's attached. And we don't inventory anything. We special order everything for a customer, and so it was kind of a mental transition for me, because when we owned the pool store, if we would take people's money no matter how we could get it. If you want it off the floor, you could just buy it right off the floor. And so now we're a showroom, and you have to order, and there really isn't, because if a customer comes in and wants that, and then the next customer comes in and it's not there, you've lost the sale. So it was kind of a transition that we had to make, but it's worked really well, that everything's a special order. We get a truck every week, and then we deliver it. And as far as when we opened the store in 2008, Summer Classics honestly treated our store like it was their own store, and I laughed because it was with our money, but they provided everything from the labor to do the build out, all the interior windows and flooring. They chose colors, they bought our accessories, just, you know, made the store look like this, and that's what we really enjoyed. They sent a designer and tons of staff to set up the stores, unpack the boxes, get rid of all the trash, so it was just really helpful. And because I was 8.5 months pregnant, that was helpful. Summer Classics gave us about $5,000 to spend on our grand opening. We had about 250 to 300 people at the grand opening, and it was catered by one of the restaurants in the center. And we even had a sea ice sculpture, which was cool. And part of the difference between the pool store and when we opened a retail location was, and while we tried to make it look like this, it was really just about not being, you know, a wholesale tall ceilings, you know, just putting furniture in the place. We really wanted to make it vignettes and accessorize it and make it look like it does here, and that's what I think sets us apart and why everybody comes in the store and just says how beautiful our store is, how there's nothing like it in town. So after 4 years in the business, we've gotten a better handle on who our customer is, and we have a lot of walk-through traffic because we are in a center, so a lot of accessory sales. We also sell fire pits really well, and the fire pits help to sell the furniture around it. So another thing that we do, when we opened, you know, especially being in the pool business, we understand seasonal business, and that was another appealing thing about Summer Classics, is that they did Christmas and it gave you some cash flow in the winter. And we do a huge Christmas, and again, I go back to, because we're in a center, we have a lot of walk-through traffic, and we do really, really well at Christmas. So you can kind of see some pictures. And then this also just shows the center and the events that they have and how many people it brings in, and just even if people aren't in the market for furniture right then, they know about us and they'll come back. And as far as advertising, we started when, in the beginning, myself and my sister were doing some of the advertising, and we were just doing like local magazines and some small ads. And then in 2009, I hired a agency, Maverick Marketing and Media, to assist us. And their idea was a couple things. One, because we didn't have a huge budget, we wanted to put most of our money in one place instead of doing a little bit of newspaper, a little bit of magazines, a little bit of this. So we do, and I guess we're fortunate that our TV is not super expensive to buy, but so we do mostly TV. And the other thing is the marketing team thought that the magazines and the things that we were doing was making us look like a boutique store. And while we wanted people to at least come in the door and not be scared to, you know, check us out, and then they could decide, you know, if they wanted to buy our product, but at least to get them into the store. So our goal with our marketing was to show how big the store was, the huge selection, and the overall beauty of the product. And at the time, we really liked the branding message, but we wanted to make it more local and more personal. So our agency recommended that we brand myself as local along with our store. So I think that's, I'm just going to show you one of the commercials that we run.
Our biggest sale of the year, Summer Classics, free 4th of July event. Get an additional 10% off all furniture for savings up to 50%. Take home 4 samples now for your 4th of July party at Summer Classics.
Is that a model?
Yeah, it's a stand-in. Yeah. Okay, so So in conjunction with our agency that buys all of our TV and does all of our creative, we still use Summer Classics for email blast and some ads that we do, and we send out postcards 4 times a year, or in March, April, May, and June. And Lee Alice just does a great job at designing our ads and getting them out. And and we also felt like, I know some of the stores do different things, but we decided to mail to the same 10,000 people and not spread it out so they would continually see us. And there's some of our ads.
Was that your postcard ad? Is that last? Was that a newspaper or e-blast?
E-blast, E-blast, and then occasionally, we obviously, Kentucky is really big into the Derby, and so we do a huge push in February and March for them to order early and to get it for their Derby parties, because I'm sure that y'all know, but Derby is a huge deal for us, and everything's an emergency, and everything is for this one day and all these parties. So we ask a lot of favors, get a lot of cushions pumped out quickly, but we are the official product of the Kentucky Derby Festival, Summer Classics is. And so we go to different events and bring furniture for VIP areas and things like that. And so with that sponsorship, we place ads in some of their magazines. So that's probably what that is.
Do you have a secret for getting email addresses?
Well, with big orders, we tell them that we're going to email their confirmation, and a lot of them want to keep in contact like that because your furniture's in, when do you want to schedule delivery? So